Hey everyone, I'm Mind, and I just got another issue of the LEGO Ninjago Magazine. This month's issue is probably the lamest minifigure in a very, very long time, probably since we got Core J, 2 years ago, but even that's probably better than this. We have an Imperium Guard, which is weird for a lot of reasons. Number one, this is from last year. We already got Dragons Rising Season 2 figures, we got a Wolfmask Warrior 2 issues ago. Getting the ninja suits from last year, okay, that's whatever, because they are just ninja suits. They do still work. But getting the villains from last year feels weird to get them after the villains this year. But it's not just a villain from last year, it's the worst looking villain from last year. It's an Imperium Guard, but the one that doesn't appear in the show, and also the headpiece is wrong. He should have the other headpiece. This is actually an Imperium Claw Hunter with the helmet of a guard. So yeah, super lame minifigure, but the weapon's kind of interesting. However, I'll talk about all that more later in this video when we actually take a look at the minifigure. For now, let me remove it so we can see the full cover. And you can see it says LEGO Toy, Powerful Commander plus Lance. Fierce Lance and awesome armor. Revenge will be sweet. Okay, I guess is the idea that he's coming back for revenge. That's a neat way to justify it, I guess. Power versus Tech, Battle of the Elements. Curious what that means. Jay's Ninja Dream. Can the Lightning Ninja remember his true identity? Oh, is Jay gonna be in this comic? That's actually super exciting, because yeah, this is the administration. Ooh, I'm kind of looking forward to that, because we've had very little Jay content in the actual show. Even after the first part of Season 2, he only appears for a few moments. So very, very curious. I hope Jay is actually in this. We also have Cinder here, so it looks like they're finally touching Season 2 stuff. Because in previous magazines, they just acted like we didn't know who the Wolfmask Warriors were. They're just like, ooh, what's this mysterious new villain? We don't know. So I'm curious to see if they're going to go in more depth as to what's going on in Season 2. But yeah, let's get this open up and take a look inside. We once again have an advertisement for Kai's Ninja Climber Mech. Kai would swing into action. What would you do? Discover more at Ninjago.com. I really like this ad. And then we're continuing with the Master of the Month. This time around it's Belobo, my boy. Name Belobo, element nature. This eco-friendly bearded fellow is none other than the Master of Nature. He inherited his skills from his father, who was the previous master. With his powers, he could summon tendrils that entangle his opponents, giving them no chance to fight back. Then there's a place where you can rank how strong you think he is, and then the rest of this is just table of contents. So let's turn to the next page, and this is what I really care about, the bio page on the Imperium Guard Commander. Once a baddie, always a baddie. You know, I have been saying that. That is the motto of this evil commander. Even though Imperium has been defeated, he remains loyal to Empress Beatrix and waits patiently in Ninjago City's underground to take his revenge on the ninja. A matter of honor. Back when Beatrix still reigned over Imperium, being a guard was an honor only few were given. Young citizens dreamed of one day donning the black and gold armor to protect the Empress and rule over the world. Shoulder pads on. Nothing is more important to a guard of his rank than his shoulder pads. But make no mistake, this is not a suit and tie situation. It's all about proper protection against ninja moves. Rare and powerful. This Dragon Tooth Lance is a super rare relic from Imperium's golden age. Only a true commander is allowed to carry it. I do have to admit, despite this being a really lame minifigure, I appreciate them giving us some lore as to what this would be. They're trying to make it more interesting, and that's nice. Still though, you can see it's literally the wrong headpiece, and the ones with the black armor never appeared in the show. This is just a wrong minifigure on so many levels. Here you have to find all the fake guards who have the wrong silhouette, and then of course we have the instructions. Then turning to the next page, what is this? To the rescue. The ninja help where they can, but citizens of the crossroads have special problems and need special ninja. Which path must the ninja take to get to the right trouble spot? Follow the roads and take a turn at each intersection. Oh no, Hydro Whipper's car broke down. That's so upsetting, poor guy. Anyway, next we have a Spot the Differences game with 2 pictures of the elemental mechs. Then we have Pure Power versus High Tech. And this is one of those reflective puzzles, and you have to figure out how many different boxes are filled. Then we have a coloring page right here, and these are in most of the magazines. But this is a new one, I actually really like that. Sora could transform her mech into anything she wants using her elemental power. This time she wants to transform her mech's left arm into something any villain would fear. Grab your pens or crayons and draw her a new and improved arm. That's actually very fun, I like that a lot. And I appreciate that her elemental power is already colored in, but the rest of it's up for you to do. And now we are at the comic. So as always, I'm not going to read the entire comic to you guys, but feel free to pause the video and read it for yourself. And if I notice anything especially funny or interesting, I will stop and point it out to you. So this one seems to focus on Wildfire and Kai. I'm already excited, let's see where this goes. Okay, Wildfire's back in Imperium and there's guards, but they're actually wolf masks. She's gotta escape with Heatwave and Kai. Oh, but it was only a dream. That makes sense. Okay, cool, so this is officially our first comic that takes place during Season 2. Small spoilers for Season 2, I guess, if you guys haven't watched it yet. But Wildfire does hurt her legs, and this takes place during that time. And Mr. Frohickey's gonna go look for a doctor in the administration. So Kai does follow Frohickey to the administration. So this is, I guess, where Jay could come into play. Very, very interesting. Curious to see where this goes. But of course, we're at the break of the comic. So here we have a Jay game tied to a suit. The former Lightning Ninja Jay is stuck in the administration with no memory of his life as a ninja. Can you help him remember his true identity? J. Then we have a Sudoku game right here. Sudoku? You gotta get 4 in a row in every direction. Then we have memory snippets. Jay will surely remember his past when he sees his old and new selves side by side. Use the 2 originals to put the cutouts back in the right order and enter the letters on the right. Alright, so you gotta get these to match that. And then we have the posters in the center. Here's the first one. It says Maximum Hero Power. And I've been very complimentary of the posters in the past few magazines. I feel like they've really improved, gotten a lot better. So I feel confident in saying I don't like this one at all. This is exactly what I didn't like about previous magazine posters. There's just like this weird filter over all the minifigures, and I get what they're going for, it's like a pop art thing. But look at like Zane and Nia and Jay, they're just like really grainy. In fact, most of them are really grainy, but it's not as obvious on like Cole or Sora. Yeah, these just feel like filters, not like original art, which is fine. You get 2 free posters in a magazine. It's not a big deal, but in my opinion, it's not a very good looking one. But of course, we do have 2 posters, so let's turn it to the other side. And this one is almost really good. I love these renders of the Wolf Mask Warriors. This is my first time seeing these. Cinder looks really cool, and Roz in front of the Blood Moon, that looks amazing. The layout of this entire thing, super cool. And then they kind of ruin it with the text at the bottom. I mean, the text at the bottom, very silly, very funny. But I'm not getting silly vibes with this part, I'm getting silly vibes with this part. Because of course, the text says, "Mwahaha, the baddies are back." Literally, if you just got rid of that text, this would be a really cool poster. So yeah, mixed bag when it comes to the posters this time around. But it made me laugh, so that's something. Coming back to the magazine, we have a word search right here where you have to find all the ninjas' names. And then this is a game where you have to figure out which path leads Ryu to the carrot. This is a colored-in version of the Ryu illustration from last magazine, by the way. Which, once again, very cute. Maybe almost a little too cutesy here, but I still love him. I miss when he was that small. And now we are back to the comic. Let's see where this goes. Alright, Frohicky's gonna try to find Wildfire a doctor while Kai fights off all these people. So Frohicky's on the search and he falls down a pit and he has this big, big adventure and he gets sucked into this tube. Okay, so Jay didn't actually end up being in the comic. I guess the stuff at the beginning was just teasing that game in the middle. That's a little bit of a shame, would have liked more Jay content, but I know they're saving it for something big in the show, so I get it. Anyway, more Frohickey lore is good. I think the term frogter is very funny, and this was honestly a really good comic all around. I like this a lot. Happy that we're actually in Season 2 era, and this I don't think really contradicts canon. The timeline might be a little bit weird, because I'm pretty sure there wasn't much downtime of Wildfire resting here, but I think it probably could fit in if you wanted to imagine it as canon. So yeah, this is a good one. Like seeing Kai, like seeing Frohickey, like seeing Wildfire. I'm quite happy with it. And now we have a few more things. We have Araz's pack. Okay, so we are finally talking about the villains. However, this info is not really anything new. It's all stuff we've seen in the show. Feel free to read it for yourself if you want. And then we actually have a whole board game. You have to cut these out, and then this is the board. This is really, really cool. Quite well done. This is the exact kind of thing I know I would have had so much fun with as a kid. Whenever I see something with a whole paragraph of rules, I'm like, alright, that's good. I'm glad they're continuing to keep things fresh and include different ways to just like play with stuff in the magazine. But now let's turn to the next page, and here we have Headspin, and oh, a lot of this is very uncanny. You gotta fix all these characters who are all mixed up. And then we have, oops, I lost my mech. So you gotta decode this and then get the maze to that point. And then after that, we're actually at the end of the magazine. Wow, interesting. There was no ad for any other magazine in here. Normally there's like a LEGO City magazine ad, like right around here. That's cool that was left out. It means there's more actual content. I'm quite happy to see that. But here we have an advertisement for next month's magazine, and that one's going to come with a Climber Kai minifigure. I am very much looking forward to that one. Climber Kai is probably the lamest climber suit they could have done, because he comes in 3 sets and every other ninja only comes in 1. That being said, it's still a great minifigure, and I hope the other climber suits follow soon after. And the weapon looks amazing there. Really excited for that. And it's very tiny, but you can see the cover of the magazine, and it says Skeletons Go Wild. And it seems like Cole's mech is fighting some giant skeleton mech. Quite curious about that. Oh, and it says Extra Surprise, too. That means that's going to come as a second minifigure, which I'm actually very much looking forward to that. I hope my extra minifigure is something cool. Anyway, we have one last thing with the magazine. We have door hangers, which are always very funny. We have Please Enter and Let's Party. And Caution, do not enter. This room is guarded by a pack of wolves. Or on the flip side, Wolfpack welcomes you in. Or stay out, I'm trying to meditate. But yeah, that's about it for the magazine. I'll talk about it a little bit more at the end of this video. For now, though, let's take a look at that minifigure that it comes with. So here's a look at the minifigure, and I will say I do like the overall Imperium design. I think they're super cool looking in general. They definitely scream like high-tech society, which is what they're supposed to be. And I think the exclusive armor pieces for the Imperium characters are really cool. The gold detailing looks amazing, and I like the orange circuitry that runs throughout. And the general design of the guards specifically I think is really cool too. There's like large hat helmet is super unique, but it's very striking. It definitely stands stands out. However, I think it fits especially well with the head they're supposed to have, because the guard head has like this one giant eye, and that looks really cool, and that's just not what you get here. Because yeah, this is the Imperium Claw Hunter head, which is fine for the Imperium Claw Hunters, but this was never seen in the show like this. And as I said, the black armor is never seen in the show aside from when wrapped on. There's a full look at the torso if you're curious. I do like how the Imperium symbol's in the center right there, that is quite cool. And yeah, very detailed armor on the back. They are really amazing parts. It's just there's other ways to get this guy. I guess technically the cheapest set that this hat piece comes in is $35, so this is cheaper than that if you really want this hat piece and you don't want to buy that set, but the rest of this guy does come in a $20 set. So I'm close to calling this the worst magazine promo ever. However, what really keeps it from that is this accessory, because the accessory is genuinely quite cool and I do really love it. They use like this glass piece turned upside down to be like a part of the hilt, and that looks really cool. It creates some like really unique shaping in the center here, while also not making the weapon too big. And then of course we have the teeth at the top too. So I don't have too much more to add. This is a bad minifigure. Very common parts, outdated at this point, right? We've moved on to season 2 and this is still a season 1 figure, and of course it's inaccurate to anything. So definitely my least favorite promo in a while, but hey, the accessory is cool. That's something at least. But overall, what are my thoughts on this magazine? It's funny, I feel like it's always a mixed bag. When one thing's really good and other part's really bad, it's rare that I'm like, every aspect of this magazine is perfect. This time around, I think the comic's fantastic, my favorite in a while, and this is one of my favorite games that I've seen too. I will mention, of course, I'm not the target audience for the games. The games are meant for very young kids, but I try to think back to the games that came in magazines when I was a kid, not LEGO magazines, but just other kids' magazines I had as a kid, and that's the exact kind of game I would be obsessed with and I would play for hours. So comic really good, game's really good, but then the posters were quite weak this time around, and then of course the minifigure's really weak, and the minifigure is the largest selling point of these magazines. The magazine could be completely blank, and if it came with a good minifigure, I would recommend it, and that kind of works the opposite way around too. So if you have a ton of expendable income, and you just like collecting the magazines, you like reading the stories in hand, then absolutely, I do recommend this one. The story is really good. But if you buy these for the minifigures and you're on any semblance of a budget, this is one that's super easy to skip out on. You absolutely do not need this magazine. There's no reason to get an inaccurate, incomplete Imperium Guard. That's just not really a figure I think anybody is rushing to buy. But of course, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys thought of this magazine in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thanks for watching everybody, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.